Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be Group A's tiebreaker between Yumiko and Xixi. Xixi spawning in as the red Night Elf player in the top left, and Yumiko spawning in as the blue human player in the top right. This tiebreaker is for the first and second seed for the round of 8, and yeah, Yumiko and Xixi actually share the same score, which is 4-2. Meanwhile, Phantom Fiction and Xixi share the score of 2 and 4. So no tiebreaker is needed for the last two. So yeah, there won't be any games between those at all. And of course, the only other tiebreaker is in Group C. So yeah, it won't be too long before I start doing whatever I have of round of 8. I'm pretty sure I will be doing a recap video as well, just to, you know, give you guys the score of everyone, and of course the results of these tiebreakers as well, explaining who goes to round of 8 and all that good stuff. You know, Archmage versus Warden coming out for respective players. But yeah, I want to say a couple of things. First off, I kinda neglected uploading videos, but hopefully we can look past that. And the other one is that WCA 2015 is actually announced, and it is very, very close. I believe the activities will start around April the 19th. I'm pretty sure the Back to Warcraft guys right over here will stream the English once again. Whether or not they will upload it to YouTube, I'm not sure. If they do, then I probably will have nothing to do, but yep. Anyway, yep, always happy to see more Warcraft esports coming out, especially around this time, like after the prime time of Warcraft 3. I hear the prize pool is actually doubled, so that is a very good, you know, very good piece of news to actually hear as well. Maybe it might lead to the revival of Warcraft 3 in general, but you know, I'll have to wait and see. Whether or not China will actually release all the replays, here's hoping, I guess. Alright, we are gonna have the level 2 Warden coming out, as well as the Archmage, as he picked himself a Geomancer, and the Warden will go straight after that Shadow Priest, which was picked up by this mercenary camp. So yeah, hopefully Yumiko will have a spare running around, as I believe it got taken down. Yes, he did. Pretty easy work, I guess, for the Warden, as she continues to pop out those Shadow Strikes. Yeah, it's actually been a very long time since I've seen a Warden come out. Most Night Elf players have been picking that, you know, very consistent, very solid Demon Hunter. Even though there are some scenarios where I wished the Warden came out. But I don't know, is this really the case? I don't know. The problem here is Xixi's actually taking quite a bit of a beating. He's not allowed to do what he wants to do, and that is the double Ancient of War into Huntresses. Unfortunately, he lost his first Ancient of War while he was power creeping, and well, any other Ancient of Wars he places down gets pretty much shut down by these Footmen and Archmage. We also have a couple of towers here to add additional pressure. Xixi, I don't think he's placed down a Hunter Soul either, so this is going to be really difficult for him to try and, you know, come back with. The Warden's not necessarily, you know, the absolute answer for this scenario. Honestly, I think it's still a better answer than the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter wouldn't generally find ways of actually dealing with the scenario. Hopefully the Warden will, by just spamming those Shadow Strikes, I guess. She didn't choose to go for the Fan of Knives, as of course it does take quite a bit of mana and doesn't deal as much damage as the Shadow Strike would. Alright, Ancient of War was completed, but it got cancelled again, so this is pretty much a very difficult bind that Xixi has found himself in. His second Ancient of War looks to be following the same fate as the first. Thankfully he was able to kill one of those footmen though. That will very much help in fighting against, or in reducing the manpower of Yumiko, bring out a couple of wisps to try and repair. Arcane Towers are going to slowly whittle down that Tree of Life. Meanwhile, back at base for Yumiko, he's not actually doing much. I imagine he's just pumping out those footmen if needed, and maybe saving up and either going tech or more towers. Okay, we have the second Ancient of War actually being completed here. The Warden did sacrifice a little bit of her health in exchange for, you know, keeping these Ancient of Wars alive. We are gonna hopefully have Huntresses start production here, as well, Hunter's Hold has finished. Xixi should probably start production now, as he desperately needs it, and even if he even gets like 1 or 2 Huntresses out, he can definitely push this attack away. This is a bit of a problem, as Yumiko did decide to build guard towers as well. It was going to take a very long time if it was Arcane Towers by themselves, but now it's going to go up to 3 guard towers. That's going to be a lot of wisps needed to repair this Tree of Life, and I don't know how Xixi could deal with this case if he chooses to play without the Tree of Life. It's not impossible. He is placing a second one at the base, but like, you don't need Tree of Life to make Huntresses. But she's not actually making any Huntresses, surprisingly enough. This is a really awkward spot that Xixi has found himself in. Might need to actually just migrate to the expansion area, which hasn't actually been cleared yet, which is problematic. I mean, all like Xixxi's infrastructure, he needs to rebuild it completely again. He needs to, of course, have more time training more wisps and building those moon wells. Yeah, I can't imagine Yumiko losing this game, but Xixi has yet to throw in the towel just yet, because of course this does decide your seeding in the round of 8, and that, I guess, could be important. I mean, if Xixi was scared about facing someone a little too scary from other groups, then, you know, this is why he's actually being a little persistent here. If he didn't really care who he matched up with, he would just GG'd anyway. So yeah, TP Scroll probably will have to be used. We do have a lot of Fan of Knives actually available. The Warden will not actually wait for another one, so she will TP back immediately. It is pretty important to not be too risky with that one, as of course there are no Moonwells to heal up, so, you know, if Yumiko decides to attack, then what good is the Warden if she is wounded or damaged? Either one. But yeah, this is a tough position, because Yumiko's now claimed himself a second base, and Xixi has still to rebuild his entanglement mine. Yeah, maybe you should start training up Wisp, but he's actually upside on supply as well. This is just really bad. No second hero, as we have yet to go tier 2. Tier 2 has just started for Yumiko, so extending that lead even further. Alright, Warden, what are you going to do? Get yourself a very good fan of knives, actually. Even though she only got one, it did do a fair amount of damage against, like, all those footmen. Alright, more creeping for the Warden. Not going to hit level 4 just yet. Although I don't think it really matters too much about the Warden gaining level 4. I don't know if she took a retrain or she just put 2 points into Fountain of Knives and 1 into Shadow Strike. But yeah, if she actually chooses to learn Blink, that means she has like 3 abilities that cost mana. Not ideal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Blink, I guess Blink has to be taken just in case you get surrounded. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to put more points into Shadow Strike, since, I mean, you're already using Phantom Knives pretty excessively. So I guess Blink is the best option for that 4th ability point. Alright, we have an Ogre Mauler and of course the Mud Golem hired up there. Mud Golem is pretty much a luxury unit right now. Normally human players wouldn't go Sorceresses, which, you know, have the same ability as the Mud Golem, which is the autocast slow. That's what I mean. He's more of a luxury. He's just there because Yumiko could afford him. Yeah, this Ogre Magi camp will be started up by Yumiko. He will get level 3 on his Archmage. Pin of Energy has been, I don't know if that was picked up or purchased, but that probably was purchased. I don't think it was there before. So yeah, there's that. Potion of Greater Mana as well. I don't know, it's not necessarily useful on the Archmage. I would imagine the second hero is going to use both of those items, which is going to be a Mountain King. Alright. So surprisingly enough, Yumiko hasn't actually chosen to push against this secondary base, I guess rebuilt base of Xixi's just yet. I'm not sure if he's scared of the like very potent Fan of Knives of the Warden, or maybe he's just trying to, I don't know, try to pad stats or something like that. It's not like there are any stats that are recorded, except for the score at the end, which doesn't really matter too much. As long as you win, then you win. Alright, so Yumiko's actually going Sorceresses, Priest, and the Spellbreakers. Sorceresses are, again, a little weird. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Slow is a pretty good crowd controlling ability. It's not necessarily like hard crowd control. It's like a very good crowd control, just not the typical like stun or snare or anything like that. But yeah, since like honestly I don't know how effective that's going to be against Xixi's armor composition, since it's mainly consistent of archers and a berserker. Like, that's a lot of units to slow across, and well, it might not be the most wise thing to mass up with. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I honestly think that more Spellbreakers would have been better. Hell, even like add Riflemen into your army mix as well. There we go with the Vulnerability Potion on the Warden as she continues to throw out those Phantom Knives. Another one should probably follow. There we go. We do have like 3 pretty much lined up for dead. Right there for Xixi. Level 5, very close for the Warden. Should probably get it after that one footman. No, the Warden will not. There we go. There's the level 5 on the Warden there. What is she going to go for? Level 3 fan of knives? Who knows? I don't know if she is going to have enough mana to use it. Oh, she did reach the moon well, so she did in fact have the mana. There we go with level 3 fan of knives. I believe that was dealing a ton of damage. One of the Ancient of Wars did uproot itself, but unfortunately it did get demolished there, as I believe it got into tower range, and he's not a happy guy. Alright, Yumiko continuously pumping out units. Spellbreakers, there we go, that's the unit that I would very much like to see. They are okay-ish against archers, but it's not like archers can do much against spellbreakers anyway, and of course the warden can't actually deal with those spellbreakers. I guess that is the main point that I want to, you know, convey across. 1-0 upgrades as well. Yumiko's pretty much like had this game ever since he took down the Tree of Life. Maybe even before that, people could argue, but like it was a definite when it came down to that point. Looks like the Tree of Life will reposition himself. Not sure what good that will do. Honestly, I think the Tree of Life should just join the fight now, since not much is going to actually happen. You can see how pretty ineffective that Fan of Knives was, as like literally none of these spellbreakers get affected by that particular spell, or for any spells in that matter. Yeah, this is kind of game, I think. Like at this stage of the game, where your opponent's like intentionally choosing spellbreakers, you should consider maybe focusing on shadow strikes to get more specific targets down. But yeah, I don't think Xixi has the luxury of choosing. That is pretty much going to be game there. No GG just yet. I think he's just gonna wait for Yumiko to completely annihilate the base. And look at that, Yumiko is actually going to make himself his own third base. Alright. And with this, I believe Yumiko will get to that first seed of Group A. I'm not exactly sure how the seedings work in the round of 8, but yeah, hopefully I will figure it out by the time I make that recap video. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next tiebreaker, which will be Hawk versus Sonic.